Africa is changing. Not in speeches, not in promises, but in decisions.
Remember always that diplomacy is ultimately about people. Carry with you the hopes of our youth. Seek opportunities. Seeking opportunities. Our entrepreneurs pursuing growth. Our farmers searching for market. And our nation striving for inclusive prosperity.
For decades, Africa has been told to wait. Wait for aid, wait for investors, wait for permission, wait for development. But today, something different is happening. 3 African nations, Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe, are discussing a bold, historic idea to move beyond weak cooperation and toward a confederate African state, inspired by the AES model and the unfinished dream of African unity. A plan for joint mega-oil refineries, a plan for shared natural resource processing factories, a plan for unified economic and security systems. This is not just politics. This is not just diplomacy. This is about power. This is about sovereignty. This is about Africa finally standing on its own feet. Today, we ask the big question. Is Southern Africa about to start a new chapter in African history?
I don't know who dragged Africans to tell them that democracy works. But for 65 years, from Kwame Nkrumah, coming down to Nelson Mandela, the whole of Africa is crying with leadership. I have traveled the whole width and breadth of Africa, from Tanzania to Nigeria, to Ghana, to Botswana, to Namibia, to Mozambique. Every country, Zimbabwe included.
Are they also crying in Burkina Faso and
Burkina Faso
and Rwanda?
They even told the West, leave us alone. We'll talk issues of democracy later. Right now, we're doing development. We are happy with the status quo. Keep these dictators as they are. So a dictator, in my word, when I say that, it must be a dictator, number one, who dictates the right thing, who has a clear agenda. And a man who has a clear agenda, a national agenda, that benefits the people. To hell with democracy. People want food. People want water. People want roads. And to implement these things, the democratic system is full of bureaucracy. I've used an illustration once, right now, where if a toilet is not working, under a fully functional democratic government, you must come and report it. Then it's written, toilet not working. Then you must call a sitting. How are we going to repair the toilet? Minuted. After that, let's begin to find who will fix the leaking toilet. And before you that, there's a holiday for 3 days. We'll come back to Parliament next week. When you come back to Parliament, let's find the companies that can actually do it. Can you have 3 quotations or 4 quotations? We'll give you 2 weeks to do your quotations. The quotations come. Then the judiciary, the adjudication must sit down and decide who amongst these ones must do the project. And after that, then we must go and procure from the Department of Finance how much will it cost us to fit this vis-a-vis what has been quoted. And while you are doing that, we award the contract. After you finish awarding the contract, there is an appeal from one of them who loses the appeal that actually my quotation was better. Let's start again. You will spend 3 years with the toilet that is not fixed. But the system is trying to get.
Africa is the richest continent on Earth in natural resources. Yet, Africans remain among the poorest people in the world. Why? Because Africa does not control value. Africa exports raw materials and imports finished products at 10 times the price. We export crude oil, we import fuel, we export raw minerals, we import electronics, we export raw diamonds, we import finished jewelry. This is not an accident. This is a system built during colonial times, and never fully dismantled. And one of the biggest weaknesses Africa has had since independence is fragmentation. 50+ countries, 50 small markets, 50+ weak currencies, 50 separate armies, 50 separate policies. Divided, Africa is weak. United, Africa is unstoppable. This is what leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, and Muammar Gaddafi warned us about. They told us, Africa must unite, or Africa will be exploited forever. In recent years, something unexpected happened in the Sahel, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. 3 countries said, enough is enough. They formed the alliance of Sahel states, AES, not to please the West, not to impress donors, but to defend their sovereignty, coordinate security, and control their future. Young leaders stood up and said, Africa will no longer be governed from outside. Whether you agree with their politics or not, one thing is clear. They changed the conversation. They reminded Africa that regional unity is power, shared defense is strength, economic coordination is freedom. Now, that same spirit of African self-determination is echoing in southern Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe. 3 countries with history. 3 countries with resources. 3 countries with potential, asking a dangerous question. What if we stop competing and start building together? A confederation is not about losing sovereignty. It's about sharing power where it makes sense. The idea being discussed includes joint mega oil refineries, shared natural resource processing factories, unified industrial planning, coordinated economic systems, potentially shared security frameworks. Think about this for a moment. Instead of each country begging for foreign investors, each country exporting raw materials, each country borrowing money to build the same factories, they could pool resources, build mega-industries together, create regional value chains, negotiate with the world from a position of strength. This is how real economic blocs are built. That's how the European Union grew, ASEAN grew, China built regional industrial clusters. And now Africa is finally asking, why not us? If TEAS works, the impact could be massive. Jobs for millions of Africans, industrialization instead of raw exports, stronger currencies, better infrastructure, real technological transfer, stronger bargaining power globally. Imagine this. African oil refined in Africa, African minerals processed in Africa, African factories building African products, African engineers running African industries, African money circulating inside Africa. This is how nations become powerful. Not through speeches, not through slogans, but through production. This is how China rose. This is how South Korea rose. This is how Europe rebuilt after war. And this is how Africa must rise. Let's be honest. This road will not be easy. There will be political resistance, external pressure, internal sabotage, elite interests, fear of losing control, media attacks, economic blackmail. History teaches us something painful. Every time Africa tries to unite, someone tries to divide it, sometimes from outside, sometimes from inside. Unity threatens systems that profit from African weakness. But every great transformation in history faced resistance. The real question is not, is it difficult? The real question is it necessary? And the answer is clear, yes. For our youth, for our future, for our dignity, for our survival. This is not just about Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. This is about restarting the Pan-African dream, a dream where Africa is not a supplier of poverty. Africa is not a market for leftovers. Africa is not a battlefield for foreign powers, but a civilization that produces. A continent that decides, a people that control their destiny. Maybe today it starts with 3 countries. Tomorrow, it could be 5, then 10, then a whole region. This is how history moves. Step by step, block, union by union. Africa does not lack resources. Africa does not lack people. Africa does not lack ideas. Africa has lacked unity. If Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe truly walk this path, they won't just be building factories. They won't just be signing agreements. They will be changing Africa's destiny. The question is no longer, can Africa rise? The question is, Are we finally brave enough to rise together?
Wow, what a great move from Namibia, Zimbabwe, as well as Botswana. This is AES-style. As you heard, family, brothers and sisters, these countries, they have decided to come up with the idea of creating their own refinery industry that will process oil that are found in Namibia and being supplied in the SADC region. This is a good idea, and this is a constructive idea. The question and what I want to share this time is how this will be succeeded. As we know very well that Western powers always don't want countries that are moving in the right direction. We have seen what's happening right now in Iran, the tension between Iran and the United States of America. It's not about maybe Iran is doing bad things. It's not. It's because Iran has came with the idea of self-independence. So the thing that Western power don't want. So as Africans, how will we succeed this? How will we make sure that Zimbabwe, that is under sanctions, Namibia, that is small country in terms of GDP, the same to Botswana, these are small countries. How will these countries succeed? And if South Africa is being owned by black people, maybe it is very easy for this project to be succeeded, because South Africa is a country in southern part of the continent that has highest economy. Of course, it's a giant of Africa. So, but for this to be succeeded, or for this project to be succeeded, it needs support from member countries of SADC. And this project must not be owned by maybe these three countries. Let this project be the project of SADC. Because we know very well that in SADC region, there has huge deposit of oil. You talk about Mozambique. Mozambique has oil. And this oil has created conflict in Mozambique. You know, one time there was conflict in northern Mozambique, if you are familiar with that issue. The issue there is about oil, that after Mozambique discovered oil, these people don't want Africa to thrive, Africa to move forward. They created conflict within Mozambique. So what if the same people will do the same thing in Namibia, to make sure that this deal is not going to achieve? What will we do as Africans? So that's the issue that we need to discuss. To plan is one thing. To implement is also another thing, and to get the result that we desired is another story. So Africans, we have no shortage of good plans. Africans, we have no shortage of good hard cause and these treat. But Africa, when it comes to implementation, that's where Africans, we are failing. That's where Africa is falling. So how can we succeed, or how can we make sure that this issue or this refinery industry is going to be built within SADC region? How can we achieve? That's the question that we need to ask. Because as I said, we know very well that African countries are importing oil from Arab countries. Despite we have oil in Nigeria, but Nigeria is still importing oil. We have oil in Angola. Angola itself is still importing oil. We have oil in Mozambique. If you go to Mozambique, you find we are importing oil. We have natural gas. Still we are importing natural gas from Arab countries. Even these resources that are found here, yes, we have oil, but look at our oil, where are they going? Our oil, our resources are going outside and then come back as a finished product and sold to us at the highest price. So you know what these people, what they're doing? They want Africans to continue depending on them. And that's why I'm asking, will we achieve this project? Will Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, that is under sanction, succeed to complete this project? Or this will be a project like the project that we have, a lot of projects, Ingadam and others, that are still on shelves. But if we are really serious, I argue and I ask SADC, if it is serious, SADC to come together, SADC countries to support this project. African Union, we know that African Union will do nothing. You know why I'm saying that? Because African Union, recently you heard the story of Somaliland and Somalia. African Union condemned Israel. But today as I speak to you, and now Somaliland has offered United States of America military base space and also has offered critical minerals. Just imagine, that's the Africa that we have. So when it comes to African issues, there's a big division. So we expected maybe African Union to take charge on that issue, that no more military base will be installed here. But if we are not united as Africans, US can install military base in Kenya. Of course, we know US has military base in Kenya. US has military base in Botswana. So it will be difficult. And that's why I'm saying this is difficult. Botswana has a US military base. It want to collaborate with Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe that is under sanction of United States of America and other Western countries. Namibia, of course, Namibia has no big challenges. But Namibia has a huge deposit of these resources. Will the US allow Zimbabwe, that is under sanctions, to touch the oil of Namibia? Because what America wants and the Western power want is to see Zimbabwe suffering. So one of the suffering is shortage of energy, shortage of oil. Will this Western power allow this project to be complete? So family, brothers and sisters, if you have something to share with us, please do so through the comment section. Let us not speak for too long. Let me wait your comment and see what we can do as Africans. After that, let me say have a nice time. See you next time. Thank you.